Alrighty, what's up, everybody? Peter Gilmore here on this Saturday afternoon. Back with you again with another video right here on Killer 669. Thank you all for watching. As always, make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button down below, and subscribe to my other channels, which are down below in the description box. And as always, friend me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, share this video all over the internet, and tap that bell, turn on all my notifications so you never miss an upload. And YouTube can, I guess, send my videos out to you if they feel like it. And if not, well, they fucking suck. So, subscribe, smash the like button to death, smash that subscribe button to death as well, and smash that bell to get notified of when I go live and when I do my videos and all that other good stuff. And the chat room's open, so come on in and talk some Smackdown and talk some wrestling for a little bit. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. Alright, it's hot, ladies and gentlemen. It's freaking hot. I am fucking sweating up a storm. My AC's cranking. It's not working now, but it is what it is. But it's the way it is for this summer. It's starting to get hot now. It's starting to get the end of July, early August. It's starting to get hot. And then you're like, oh, where's winter? Then winter comes, it's going to be a bad winter. So that's what I think. We're going to get a bad winter. Because the last couple of winters we've had really meh winters. Not that many snowstorms. Just really decent weather, really. You know, not totally hot weather. Not a mild winter, but we've had pretty decent winters the last couple of years. But I think this year, the way 2020 is going, we're going to get a hit with a lot of snow. And here in the north is what it is. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on this Saturday afternoon, July the 18th, 2020, it is time for your late and out-of-date Smackdown review for July the 17th, 2020 from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. All right, Smackdown last night, the go-home show for the Smackdown side before this Sunday's horror show at Extreme Rules. Still think it's not even going to be a horror show. It's going to be a horrible show. It's horror, but it's going to be horrible. I think it's going to be, but, you know, we'll see. So we'll see tomorrow night. But this was the go-home show of Smackdown, and we had a lot of things happening. We had another match being announced later on. I'll get to that in a minute. We had the main event of for the Intercontinental title, AJ Styles taking on everybody's favorite bro, Matt Riddle, for the Intercontinental title. See how that goes. We also had a moment of bliss with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross with their special guest. I'll tell you who it is just yet, but I think if you know who it is, you know, we got that. We got Sasha and Bailey, as always, on the show. We had an interview with Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy, dude! And some interesting things what's going to happen with that. We had some women's action, some extra women's action with Naomi and Lacey Evans. That sucked. And then we had some tag team action with The New Day and Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Some interesting things happening there ahead of their SmackDown tag team title match at Extreme Rules. Some interesting things happening there, but I'll get to that in a second. But all in all, SmackDown kind of sucked. Too. Just a really horrible show. And just this whole week for Monday, for the WWE was horrible. Horrible Monday Night Raw. NXT stunk. I'll get to NXT probably tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but I'm like really fucked up right now. Because I got the COVID test again in the nose and it fucked up my head. That's what happens when I put it way up the nose. Fuck up your fucking head. I got a fucking migraine now. Thank you. Fuck shit. I don't know why. I should have just got the fucking blood test. But it is what it is. But, so, that's all I gotta say about that. Fuck the virus. That's all I got. So, I have nothing else to say. Alright, let's get into Smackdown. And like I said, it was kind of a boring as fall. Just another boring, another go home show that sucked. And we'll see how Extreme Rules is tomorrow night. Not gonna be that great, but here's to you. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, so we start off the show, and like I said, the chat room's open if you want to chat for a little bit. And we get that. All right, so we start off the show with a Saturday night's main event style opening with everybody who's on the show basically telling what's going to happen on the show, giving us some promos. It's also with AJ Styles, the Intercontinental Champion, saying he's defending the belt against that barefoot Matt Riddle. He says technically he beat AJ because he had the element of surprise, but later on, no surprise, no news, and no chance. He's a flash in the pan, and this is still the house that AJ Styles built. So we'll see what happens with that. Then right after that, we got a Matt Riddle promo. Kind of wondering what AJ stands for, and he's like, arrogant jackass. But he says last week was no fluke. Actually, it was 2 weeks ago. And he says after, and then later on, he will officially be the bro that runs the show. What happens if he wins the title or not? But you know how WWE works. I think you know. Well, that's all I can say about that. So we get that. So, and so we get that from Matt Riddle on AJ ahead of the match, and then here we get from Daniel Bryan. Yes, and he's in the forest, I guess, collecting trees for the environment because he has to go back to being Daniel Bryan, protector of the environment. You know, all we needed was the hemp belt again. So he's in the forest, cuts a promo saying he's looking forward to a new Intercontinental Champion. We'll see what happens with that. Then after that, we get a promo from Alexa Bliss, who says she has a special guest on a moment of bliss, but she's not going to tell us anything. She'll tell me, but she won't tell you. Hey, because she's like that. And then after that, we go to Miz and Morrison. Hey, oh, and with some really generic, crappy music playing behind all these promos. I mean, all we needed was the freaking Saturday Night's main event theme. Would have been way better. or when they do the promos, they have that generic theme, like the main event theme, or the or an emotion by obsession by an emotion. The real Saturday Night's main event theme that should be brought back. Just saying. So we get that. Miz and Morrison are gonna be they're there, and then Morrison's terrified of Braun Strowman because Braun Strowman is going to be facing off against John Morrison later on in a squash match, but it is what it is. He's going to eat John Morrison. That's nasty, but okay. And that's that. Then after that, we get Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura saying they're going to take the tag team titles on Sunday. Then after that, we get to the tag team champions, the New Day, of Biggie and Kofi Kingston, giving us a spoiler alert, and it's that Cesaro will not win come Sunday. Cesaro won't win his match with Big E coming up, and then Big E does oh, people at home, don't you dare be sour. Clap for your crappiest tag team champions of the world, and feel the power. So we get that. So that was an interesting way to open the show with the Saturday Night's main event style promos and shit. So it was all right. I gave it 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's that. All right. After that, we go to the ring with Mitchell Cole and Corey Graves at ringside. Big E and Kofi come out. They throw their jackets at Michael Cole and Corey Graves again. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if it's a racial thing going on or what or just being stupid, which I think they are. I think I would like file a protest or like a file complaint against Big E and Kofi for doing that every freaking week if I was Corey Graves. I'm surprised he hasn't done it yet. I would just like throw the thing back. It's like this is the disgrace. These tag team champions disgrace. They come out here every week and throw their freaking gear at us. This is a disgrace, Michael Cole. Michael Cole's like, oh, no. You might have a point there, Corey. Michael Cole's an idiot, but it is what it is. So we get to match number 1, Big E taking on Cesaro. Nothing to write home about. So also a Big E going to work early on with a big clothesline as the bell ring. And he hits some uppercuts in the corner. And he whips Cesaro to the outside. Big E goes after him. Cesaro kicks him and hits a right hand. And then Big E sends him into the steps. And then a shoulder block to Cesaro. They go back in the ring. Big E crashes into the post shoulder first. Ow. And then Cesaro started going to work on him. Grabs Big E, sends him into the outside. Sends him into the post on the outside. Then back in the ring. Cesaro goes to the top rope, hits an axe handle. Goes on there. And by the way, the winner of this match picks the stipulation for their team for the Smackdown Tag Team title. So a lot of stake for this match. So he hits an axe handle for a near fall. Then he needed a back, then a rear chin lock from behind. So some ground and pound and some mat wrestling from Cesaro. And then Big E hits some elbows. Cesaro grabbed him, lifts him up, body slam for a near fall. Cesaro goes back to the top rope and connects with another axe handle. Goes for another axe handle, but Big E catches and hits the belly. Then another one, and then a third one. Hits the ropes. Big E hits a big splash. He tries for the abdominal stretch, but Cesaro hits an uppercut. And he sends him into the ring post. Drags Cesaro over the apron and attacks the chest with some forearms. Big E's on the apron, runs with a splash to Cesaro on the apron. Ow. Forget that. And they go back in. Cesaro is hitting an uppercut in the corner. Goes for another one, but Big E hits a Uranagi and gets a pinfall for a near fall. Then Cesaro stands on the apron. Cesaro with a big boot. Cesaro with a springboard spinning uppercut for a near fall. Then he hits another uppercut. Knocks the head. Big E shoots the leg. And locks in the stretch muffler to Cesaro. Kind of an inventive move by Big E. So pulls up with his body, floats off, grabs the legs, then swings Big E around before locking in a sharpshooter a la Owen Hart. Praise Owen Hart. Kofi screams for E to get to the ropes, and Cesaro stops and locks at a crossface a la that guy named Benoit. And then Shinsuke knocks Kofi on his butt, and he starts mocking Big E like, yeah. Big E stands out of the crossface, gets Cesaro on the shoulders, and then Big E backs Cesaro into the referee, so we have a good old-fashioned ref bump. And Shinsuke is up with a kick to face. And then Cesaro hits the neutralizer. 1, 2, 3. Cesaro picks up the victory over Big E. And he gets the name, the stipulation for his team. So the match was all right. I gave it 2.25 out of 5 stars. Afterwards, Cesaro stomps Big E. And then him and Shinsuke go to the apron and try to grab a table from under the ring. And then Kofi Kingston is in the ring. Dives over the top of the announce table. And then Kofi grabs Cesaro and sends him into the apron first, then the table. Then Cesaro through the table. He climbs on top of Big E's shoulders. And then Shinsuke grabs Cesaro, pulls him off the table, and they run to the ramp. So guess following along, and if you're not, well, you're stupid. But I think you know if you see what type of match you're gonna be in, and later on, but I'll get to that in a minute. So we get that. So we'll see what happens with Cesaro and Shinsuke and the New Day going into their match on Sunday. I hope and pray that Cesaro and Shinsuke win the belts, because if not, I mean, the point of having a tag team sucks. That's all I gotta say about that. Both teams fucking suck. The Street Profits suck. Sucks big, fat, hairy, monkey balls. That's all I gotta say about that. Fuck the tag team division. That's that. But we'll see what relation there will be in. But like I said, I think you know from what happened at the end what type of match it's gonna be. And I hope Cesaro and Shinsuke win the belts. But if not, I'm gonna rant. I'm gonna fucking go on a rant. And that's all I gotta say about that. So we move on. All right, here we go backstage. Baron King Corbin is interviewed about Matt Riddle. He says Riddle attacked him and started all this. And as for AJ, AJ is one of the best, so sucking up to AJ. His opinion will be quick and decisive. AJ will retain. Coleman says Riddle is ambitious. It's the honeymoon phase, that this is like the movies. Everyone will realize that the bro is nothing but a little boy. So we'll see what happens with that. So I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Wasn't anything to write home about. You know, you'll be following along if you saw Smackdown last night. I didn't read the spoilers or anything. Well, not the spoilers, but if you didn't read the results. That's that. All right, then we stayed backstage. We see Cesaro saying finally they were getting the proper respect that they deserve, and they should. They earned it the hard way. And they said this Sunday they want a tables match. All of the Dudley Boys. You know, Dudley Boys' favorite Dream Rules for the Smackdown Tag Team titles. And like I said, I hope and I pray to the mighty Lord of the New Day. Sick and tired of it. That's all I gotta say about that. So this is gonna be his first match in about seven and a half weeks. So he's gonna be rusty. So I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars as well. All right, there we go. In the ring, we have Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross. They mentioned last week was the fifth year anniversary of Evolution. It would be the 5th year, but it's not really the 5th year because Evolution was only around 10, 15 years about with Evolution. I think they started in about 2000 and something, 2013, somewhere around there. I think they talk about the women's Evolution pay-per-view and have it on a Monday Night Raw. They're gonna have all male is gonna be on the show, and then the next night on Raw is gonna be women's Evolution for 3 fucking hours. You say boring, women. You're gonna have to bring up EO. They're gonna have to bring up Rhea Ripley, Mia Yim, Candice LeRae, Aaliyah, NXT, and that's gonna work for 3 hours. You know, when they like Mercedes Martinez, they brought my talent. They talk about that, and they want to give. There's your applause. Excuse me, say that 5 times fast. NBA title. No, it's a basketball season this year. Fall flat on their ass, but you never know. I'll win. Oh, it's LeBron, and the Lakers were doing so good, and it looks like the Lakers were about to go. You know, then they got to deal with. So who knows what's going to happen with it in basketball now? In Florida, where most of the players are. Personally, I don't care who baseball is going to be. Just like hockey, it's just a half a fucking season. Starting and the Hurricanes and the 5 series, the 4 seeds play each other. Let's see what happens with that. It should be interesting. Or October, back December 1st, I think. I know the next season starts December, and it's gonna go all the way through like May or June. So next year is gonna be like an abbreviated season too. I don't think it's gonna be an 82 game season. I'll be shocked, but I wouldn't be shocked. But I don't think it's gonna be 82 games. But you never know. Baseball next year is going to be an actual 162 game season. Baseball starts this Thursday with the Yankees de Nueva York playing the Nationals in National Park. They actually finalized that whole thing where the Nationals are going to play. They were thinking they may play somewhere else in Washington D.C. because National Park was not ready, or it had some stupid thing with Nationals Park with their COVID regulations and shit, which is so stupid. But there's gonna be the Yankees and the Nationals are gonna play as scheduled in Nationals Park. Garrett Cole against Max Scherzer. That's gonna be a pretty good game on ESPN or Yes, or whatever you want to wherever you watch it. You're gonna be watching it from. And then Saturday is gonna be a big triple header. The Yankees, I would assume the Mets might be on Fox. But I think it's just going to be the Yankees. So I might watch the Yankee game next Saturday. Whoop-de-damn dude! Don't give 2 shits. As long as they sweep the Nationals, I'll be happy. And the Mets take 2 or 3 from the Braves. That'd be great. So The Nationals will be in last place by the end of the next weekend. And the Braves will be last place as well. And the Mets will be in first place. Not that I think the Mets are going to go anywhere this year, but I'll be shocked if they win 35, 40 games. And I'm not going to do a baseball preview because really, what's the point of having the book? And I have the yearbook too. I have the football yearbook, but who knows what's going to happen with football right now? Because a lot of people are testing positive for this fucking virus in football. And I don't know how the season's going to be. If it's going to be a 16-game season, 16, 17-game season, or what's going to happen depending on what this fucking virus is going. It's mutating. Or if I'm hearing it's mutating in Florida. It's gonna be a long year. The rest of this year is gonna be really, 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 yeah. I just wish this fucking year ended. It was already fucking July 18th. We got 5.5 months to go. Really 5 months to go. 5 months and 13 days to go before 2021. So we got a long way to go. Still gotta get through the summer, which has got another month and a half to go. But we'll see what happens with that. So Nikki says that the Lakers are going to win the NBA title. I don't think they will, but we'll see. She predicts that Matt Riddle will become the new IC champion, and she predicts also that Braun Strowman will walk out of the Wyatt Swamp fight victorious this Sunday, most likely. And she also predicts that her special guest will tear the roof off come Sunday. And Nikki's like, I'm the guest, because I'm Nikki Cross. She thinks it's her that Alexa will announce. She will realize her dream. She will give Bayley a living nightmare, and she will be the next Smackdown Women's Champion. I don't think so. So it's like, take it down a notch. How many nitro brews she had today? Huh. Too much coffee there, Nikki. You know, I've got my fix. So Nikki is not her guest, actually. So sorry, Nikki, you're not the guest. Then out comes Bayley and Sasha. Bayley, don't give me a hug, and stuff. Well, can't do it. I don't have a shirt on. The boss, Sasha Banks, the tag team champions, and the SmackDown Women's Champion. They come out, as always. The bores half to death. Bayley tells Nikki to get used to feeling disappointed because on Sunday she will be a failure as well. Sasha calls her a hyper chihuahua. And after Sunday, it's back to the shadows of bliss for her. To being Alexa's little sidekick. Bayley says before they get to the ring, there are a few things Bliss got right. It's the 5th year of the women's evolution, but did anyone miss a step? They've got to give credit to Sasha and Bayley, the architects of the evolution. They really started the evolution. That's true. They built the ring that Alexa and Nikki are sitting in. You're welcome, as Mr. Damian Sandow used to say. Then they get in the ring, and Bayley says she has a little prediction for Alexa, and she says this Sunday she will beat Nikki, Sasha will beat Asuka, and there will be the new Raw Women's Champion, and the longest reigning combined SmackDown Champion, along with the reigning defending Women's Tag Team Champion. So they'll hold all the women's gold. Hopefully not. So we'll see what happens with that. Sasha's like, there's nothing anybody can do about it. Alexa's like, well, that's all nice and dandy, but I didn't finish. You never let me finish. That's what she said. And that brings up Asuka. Nobody is ready for Asuka. I think. But you knew that already. So she comes out, dancing. As Asuka comes out. Big Sasha then attack Nikki and Alexa. Asuka runs in to help. Alexa says that they settled it issues in the ring. So she's like, "Get me a referee out here." So we got an impromptu match number 2. Asuka and Nikki Cross teaming up against Bayley and Sasha. So I gave the Moment of Bliss 2.25 out of 5 stars. Get to the match. Match wasn't anything to write home about. Typical women's crap. So it's with Asuka and Bayley. Bayley shows Nikki on the apron. Nikki is pissed. She wants in. Asuka tags. And Nikki comes in and she jumps on Bayley and starts mounting her. Not like that, but you know what I mean. And shoots the legs, hits a few right hands. Nikki sends Bayley into the corner and stomps away. Stops Nikki from sending her into the ring post head first. Sends her to the corner. Bayley, I can't talk today. Bayley hops over the top rope, tags in Sasha, but it's not legal, says the ref. It's like, no tag, no tag. And moves Charles Robinson, by the way. Bayley gets a cheap shot in. Sasha's in to destroy the wrestling world as we know it. Or make it better because Sasha is the boss. And that's all I got to say about that. Soon to be Smackdown Women's Champion at SummerSlam. If they even do it at SummerSlam. A lot of people saying that it's going to be a tag match for the women's title. It's going to be Sasha and Bayley taking on Trish Stratus and Lita. Bye. Why? So Trish and Lita can win the belts and they don't defend them because they're part-timers? So they can lose them back to Bayley teams there? Okay. Anyway, so I don't think we're gonna see Bayley and Sasha maybe Hell in a Cell. If we have it at all. But we'll see. So Sasha comes in, covers for a near fall. Tags in Bayley, covers for a near fall. Tag team wrestling 101 by Sasha and Bayley. Sasha whips with Bayley sending Nikki into the corner, and then Sasha hits a high knee lift. Tags in Bayley, runs in with an inside cradle for a near fall. But goes under, tags in Asuka, comes in like a house of fire, kicks Bayley, she's in, sends Sasha and Bayley down the time, kicks Sasha. Sasha fights, hits the running ass attack to Bayley. Sasha with a hurricane to the outside. Sasha then hits the ropes, baseball slide, but Sasha floats in between the apron and the skirt. Asuka starts beating the crap out of Sasha. She tags in Nikki. Asuka with a sliding knee off the apron. And then Nikki hits a cross to Sasha. And then Nikki and Asuka start dancey on the announce table. Nikki starts freaking twerking, and Asuka's like has her like ass right next to her. Like she starts kind of twerking a little bit, which she can just do on my dick. But I digress. So we get that. That was kind of funny. As we go to break, come back. Sasha misses a kick in the ring. Asuka covers for a near fall. Sasha with a clothesline for a near fall. Sasha stomps on Asuka's hand. She lifts Asuka, sends her to the corner. She swings Asuka down and hits the shotgun knees for a near fall. So we're working on Asuka for a while, back and forth. Bayley covers for a near fall as a double team with a hold and a punch. Asuka then attacks the midsection. Bayley lifts her. Backslide from Asuka for a near fall. Bayley comes back with a kick. She drops an elbow for a near fall. She sends Asuka into the corner, tags in Sasha. She kicks the midsection and hip splashes in the corner. Snapmares Asuka to the middle of the ring. Then a rear chin lock, so a little rest period. Sasha draws her elbow into the face of Asuka. Asuka turns into it. She elbows out. Sasha sends her into the corner. Bayley tags in with a blind tag. She starts slapping the crap out of Asuka. Then hits some shoulder tackles to Asuka. She kicks Bayley away. Sasha on the apron, rolls up Bayley for a near fall. Then hits a big knee to the face of Bayley. And both women are down. Both get the tag to their respective partner. Nikki Cross comes in. Sasha comes in. Nikki hits a clothesline, then another one, then a headbutt. And then a drop kick to Sasha. She runs, monkey flip to Sasha. Nikki's going berserk. but a bulldog covers for a near fall. Nikki just starts banging her head against the top turnbuckle and looks to dive from the top. She does, but Sasha rolls and Nikki hits the mat. Oops. Sasha with a low drop kick for a near fall. And she's like, and she starts screaming in frustration. She's like, "Ref! Damn it! Don't piss off Sasha." Just telling you. I learned that the hard way. She yells for Bayley to get up. It's like, "Get up, Bayley!" And she drags Nikki over to the corner, attacks in Bayley. Bayley goes to the top rope, but her climb is stopped. Her. Sasha's on the apron. Bayley goes in and sends Nikki to the outside. Nikki with a throat thrust. She uses the announce table as a weapon. Well, not a weapon. She uses it as a springboard for a tornado DDT on the floor. Ow. Then she sends Bayley into the ring, covers for a near fall as Sasha broke the hold. Asuka comes in, she attacks Sasha with some right hands, and then some more. Sends Banks to ropes. Sasha holds on. She moves to avoid the hip attack, and then she hits a big kick to face, and Asuka falls to the outside. Bayley goes for a tag. Asuka's there to grab the leg. Sasha dives off for Meteor, but Asuka ducks underneath, hits Banks with a drop kick, and then Bayley shoves Asuka into the barricade. While in the ring, Nikki goes for another tornado DDT. Bayley reverses and stacks Nikki up. Using the ropes for leverage. 1, 2, 3. Sasha and Bayley pick up another victory. They're the hottest thing on TV, ladies and gentlemen. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. So Sasha Bayley, once again, get the victory. They're the hottest thing on TV, ladies and gentlemen. Every single week, every single show, except for NXT. Well, they were on NXT, but they're the hottest thing on the TV right now. They're the best thing on Raw and SmackDown right now. The hottest thing going right now. Everything else fucking sucks. That's sad that Sasha and Bayley are basically carrying the WWE on their back right now. It is what it is. That's that. So match was all right. I gave it 2.25 out of 5 stars. And we'll see what happens with Sasha and Bayley as they go into their respective matches this weekend, tomorrow night, with Sasha taking on Asuka for the Raw Women's title, and Bayley defending her SmackDown Women's title against Nikki Cross. I think both women will retain the titles. I think really that Asuka's gonna start feuding with Shayna Baszler because Shayna came back on Monday Night Raw this past Monday. I think they're gonna have a match at SummerSlam. I think Asuka's reign is sadly gonna end. Shayna's gonna win the belt, and then she's gonna hold it for a long time because there's really nobody else to fight her besides Asuka. Becky's having a baby in December, so she's not coming back anytime soon. Ronda Rousey is never coming back anytime soon, so that's out. So all you got is really Sasha, maybe, if she doesn't win the SmackDown Women's title by SummerSlam or before Hell in a Cell. Really, you don't have any real competition for Shayna Baszler if and when she wins the Raw Women's title. All you got is Asuka, maybe Natalya, Kyrie, maybe Nia Jax. I really don't care about Nia Jax anymore. And thankfully, we haven't seen her on TV the last couple weeks. That's that. And we move on. All right, we got somebody in the chat. So let's get to the chat for a little quick. Stephen Wright says hello. What's up, Stephen? How are you? And he wants to ask a question. So what's your question? You can always ask a question. This is open forum. Talk about SmackDown, talk about Raw, talk about NXT, you talk about Extreme Rules, talk about Slammiversary, which is tonight, which is coming up in about another hour and a half. I'm not watching Slammiversary. I'm not reviewing Slammiversary. I'm not predicting Slammiversary. I could care less about Slammiversary, even though it's TNA's biggest pay-per-view one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. And we already know that the good old boys, Gallows and Anderson, will be on the show. Will EC3 be on the show? Will Will he be on the show? Maybe. He was teasing that. Will Mike Kanellis and Maria Kanellis be on the show? Possibly. Could be. Will Eric Young come back? Who knows? I guess some other names that might be coming back to TNA. So it's going to be a pretty big show tonight. And we'll see what happens. I'm not going to review it. I'm just letting you know. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. So, Steven, if you're still watching, you're going to ask you a question before I finish this baby up. Because I got to get off in a little bit because the missus needs the computer. And then I'll be back later for my Extreme Rules predictions on TGC Reborn on TGC 172. So you can come back. If you don't give me a question now, between now and a little bit, you can save your question for the next stream, which will be later tonight on TGC Reborn. The link to the channel is down below in the description box. So come back later tonight, probably around, I say 10 and 11 o'clock, and we'll do the Extreme Rules predictions. We'll talk for a while about the pay-per-view, all the matches, give you an analysis, my predictions, what I think is going to happen, and then that'll be it. And then tomorrow, I'll be doing my NXT review, and then tomorrow night after the pay-per-view, I'll be here live on the Peter Gilmore YouTube Wrestling channel with my Extreme Rules review. And we'll talk about the pay-per-view, all the stuff's going to happen, the swamp match between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, the eye for an eye match, Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio, whose eye got taken out. It's not going to be anything to write home about. It's all cinematic bullshit. And so the swamp match is cinematic too, so we got that. We got Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler for the WWE title. We got the New Day, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura in the tables match for the SmackDown tag team titles. We got Asuka taking on Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's title. We got Nikki Cross taking on Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title. We have MVP taking on Apollo Crews for the new look United States title. See what happens with that. And Matt Riddle, well, I'll get to that. I spoiled it, but Matt Riddle and King Corbin one-on-one. I think we all know who's going to win that. Because they're leading to a rematch between AJ and Matt Riddle at SummerSlam, and then AJ's going to lose the belt to Matt Riddle at SummerSlam, and Matt Riddle's going to go on his first major title run with the Intercontinental belt. I think he's going to hold it for a little while. Not too long, but we'll see what happens with that. And we move on. All right, so getting back to SmackDown, we had Sasha and Bayley win against Asuka and Nikki Cross. They're the hottest thing going, ladies and gentlemen, and that's pretty much all I got to say about that. So, like I said, 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. And we move on. All right, then we go backstage with Kayla Braxton, who I haven't seen in weeks because of her COVID scare again. She got it twice. I think you might go for 3, but we'll see. So we go backstage. Miz and Morrison, they're talking about Braun Strowman. Miz says they are movie guys, and in every good horror film, the hero comes out and slays the monster. He said Morrison is the hero. Morrison's like, yeah, I can see that. I'm going to become a legend. And it's not going to be, he's going to be a legend, but a legend. Wait for it. Legendary. What it is. But then Morrison's like, but in all good horror films, the hero has a best friend who fights the monster in case the hero isn't ready. Miz says, well, I'm not really a big horror movie buff, but I got your back. So, yeah. So that's that. So I give that 2.25 out of 5 stars. And it looks like Mr. John Morrison is going to get buried. Why? I don't know. It is what it is. And that's that. So I give that 2.25 out of 5 stars. All right, then we go to the Firefly Funhouse. Well, not really the Firefly Funhouse. We get a Bray Wyatt, an old Bray Wyatt promo from the Swamp, and Bray Wyatt's in his old school gear, and he's whistling that he's got the whole world in his hands. Sing it with me. He's got the whole world in his hands. Now all we need is the kids. He got the whole world in his hands. Okay, I'm gonna sing. So he stares at a greenly lit body of water, probably just a pool or something. That doesn't even look like a swamp, even though they taped it I think last night or the night before, and Braun Strowman was like up till like the wee hours in the morning, and they like get back up for Smackdown at 10 o'clock. Because Braun Strowman does it for the kids. He's like, John Cena, I'll do it for the kids' children. I'm part-time with children. I'm never coming back. It is what it is. He says when Braun first laid foot here, he was nothing more than a lost sheep looking for a home, and he found it. He looked the devil straight in the eye, and Bray gave him a purpose. He created a monster. Then he left, or so he thought. And this is a place where darkness comes to life, where the devil comes to dance, and all the horrors feel right at home. It's a special and evil place, and once you enter, one can never truly leave. And it still lives within Braun, but he's not capable on his own. Bray says he bestowed the gift he bestowed upon him. He didn't embrace the monster, so now he must destroy the monster that Braun has become. So we get that. So I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. So we see what happens with that. And we move on. And then we go in the ring. Miz and Morrison make their entrance. No, listen. Oh, I can't sing. I don't know the words to Morrison's theme. Besides, no, listen. Something like that. So then we hear the music of Braun Strowman comes out. He's on the mic. Says he's going to face his fears on Sunday. He is ready and willing to walk through the gates of hell and slap the devil himself in the face. He says he must go home and face his fears because the last thing that he wants is for him to turn into the Fiend, because the Fiend is every bad thought he has ever had, and he's got to go home and end him before he ends Braun. But we'll see what happens with that. So a little bit of a promo before the pay-per-view, which was nice. So I give that 2.25 out of 5 stars. And then we get to your squash match of the week. John Morrison taking on Braun Strowman, the Miz at ringside. Strowman beat the crap out of him. This match lasted like 2-3 minutes. Morrison had no offense. Just basically get thrown around like a rag doll. And then he gets peeled, he gets thrown on his ass, and then Braun picks him up, he has a choke slam, and he starts laughing like a hyena. Then he picks up Morrison again, locks in a modified bear hug. Then he picks him up, hits the running power slam. 1, 2, 3. Braun Strowman gets the cheap victory. The match I gave 1 out of 5 stars. I didn't really give 2 craps about it. And it looks like Braun's going to win the match on Sunday. He's just going to kill the Bray Wyatt character. And then at SummerSlam, the Fiend is going to come back. And the Fiend is going to beat Bray. The Fiend is going to beat Braun Strowman and become Universal Champion for a second time. Hopefully he'll hold it longer than he held it before. And that's that. So, like I said, the match was kind of corny. Typical squash match. I don't know why they buried Morrison. Because Morrison's such a company guy. That's that. So I gave it 1 out of 5 stars. Afterwards, Bray says he hopes that Braun says that he hopes Bray was watching because he's coming home. I'm coming home, coming home. That stupid song. That's all I gotta say about that. So we'll see what happens with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt in the swamp on Sunday. And it should be a interesting match. Hopefully the alligators excuse me. Got allergies. Excuse me. Maybe there'll be some alligators. Maybe the alligators will rip apart one of the guys at the end. They'll show like Bray's shirt get ripped up and like blood coming out of it or some shit like that. Who knows? I don't know. But we'll probably see alligators. We'll see a snake, like maybe an anaconda or something like that. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. So it should be an interesting match on Sunday. And that's that. And then after that, we see medics come into the ring, as it looks like Morrison got injured, legit injured. Um, Morrison's grabbing his neck, so it looks like he has a stinger, or he can't feel his neck. There's a neck injury. But he walks out of the ring under his own power. Miz helps him to the back. And then we see classy Lacey Evans come out, not giving two fucks, because she has a match with Naomi, stemming from last week's horrible freaking karaoke session, which Naomi won. And then they had that little impromptu match, which went nowhere. So we're going to get Naomi and Lacey Evans. So we get to the match, and the match fucking sucked. Fucking horrible match. All the uproar for Naomi. You know, people using hashtag Naomi deserves better, and she does. Because I think Naomi should have won the Smackdown Women's title from Bayley at WrestleMania. Should have been holding it right now. She should have been facing Nikki Cross, or maybe, I don't know, maybe Sasha, or maybe somebody else, or maybe Lacey for the, yeah. Anyway, it starts out with Naomi just beating the crap out of Lacey, saying she won't be respecting her. Lacey floats over the ropes and hits a shoulder block. Then a leg sweep on Naomi. She dives over and drops with an elbow, covers for a near fall. Lacey then drags Naomi to the corner, drops another elbow, then hits a moonsault off the bottom rope, but Naomi got the knees up. She kicks up and hits a split, and does a split for a near fall. Then Naomi hits a kick, another kick to the side, goes for another. Lacey catches the fourth kick, goes behind into a full Nelson, and then an elbow. She goes for the women's right. She missed it. Naomi hits the ropes and flies back with a Hurricane Rana. Lacey's on the apron, misses the leg sweep, gets kicked right in the face. Naomi hangs her over. Naomi pulls her on the ropes, pulls on the hair. Lacey pulls on her hair, ties her messed up hair in the second rope. And the referee's like, "Oh, I'm allowing this. I don't give two shits." So he allows this crap. Naomi eventually escapes, but as she escapes, boom, right in the mush with the women's right. And Lacey Evans picks up the win, 1, 2, 3. Match I could give two shits about. I gave it a half a star. 0.5 out of 5 stars. Because it was so fucking horrible. And like I said, Naomi deserves better. She should have been SmackDown Women's Champion by now. But this is the WWE we're talking about here. They don't give two shits about the women. All they care about is Sasha and Bayley right now. Like I said, they don't give two shits about their talent, about the women's division. They don't care. All it is right now is Sasha, Bayley, and then they give a little bit of heat to Asuka because she's the World Women's Champion, and that's basically it. The women's division is a joke. Tag team division, the women's tag team division is a joke, and the women's division is a joke. Even though Asuka's the champion, and you know how much I love Asuka. That's it. So the match was horrible. Probably I was thinking of giving it a dub, but I'm going to be a little bit generous and give it a half a star. And that's all I got to say about that. And we're going to move on. All right, then we go backstage with Jeff Hardy, dude. Talking to Kayla. And Kayla brings up the barroom brawl that's going to be on the show next week. It's not going to be on the pay-per-view, Dad. It's going to be on the show next week. So, wonders why he's testing his sobriety by having the barroom brawl. Jeff says it's risky, but the chance to see him look in the mirror and regret what he sees is a risk he's willing to take. And anybody notice Jeff's demeanor? He's like, he just came in and not giving a fuck. He's like, why am I in this feud? I agree. Why in this feud? Why are they disrespecting your career and your DUI arrests and stuff just to make it a storyline? Makes no fucking sense. That's why Jeff Hardy's going to be leaving his brother Matt, and they're going to reform the Hardy Boys. They're going to reform Broken Matt Hardy, and they're going to go for the tag team belts, have probably an epic match with the Bucks, or another epic match with the Bucks, or an even epicer, no, I can't say epicer, an even better match with FTR when that comes around. Get ready for that one when it happens. But Jeff just he looked like he didn't even care. He's like, here, I'm just going to talk about Sheamus. I'm going to lose to Sheamus in the Barroom Brawl next week. I'm not going to win this feud. I'm just going to finish off my run, and that'll be it. I'm going to go to AEW and finish off my career. And WWE's just going to have egg on their face once again. And that's all I got to say about that. So, Kayla asked Jeff what his prediction for the IC title is going to be. He says he blames Sheamus for not being able to be in the match. But in comes Sheamus to hit a boom kick and lays out Jeff. Tells Jeff he'll see him on Smackdown next week when he's going to cleanse him. So we'll see what happens with that next week. So that's probably going to be the main event of SmackDown next week. Jeff Hardy and Sheamus in the Ballroom Brawl, which is probably going to be all cinematic. But who knows? And I think Sheamus is going to win. Prove. And that's all I got to say about that. Let me move on. So I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars. All right. After that, we stay backstage where we have momentum. They say they have more mass than Nikki, thus having more momentum than Nikki. It's freaking science, says Bayley. And after Sasha decimates Asuka and becomes 2 belts Banks, that's not science, it's fate. And Sasha says it's their destiny to win all the gold. Bayley knows that Nikki's apoplexy, APOPLEXY. Go look it up. I'll look it up later. I'm too bored to look it up right now. But if she is disappointed in herself now, Bayley will hate. She should just go back to being a chimney sweep. Okay. That's that. Then we see Nikki and Alexa backstage. Nikki's pissed. She says she blew it last week, blew it early in the night, and it's going to blow it on Sunday. Alexa's like, yeah, I've been there. Nikki says they don't get the same opportunities. Nikki says this is her chance. She has friends and family from Scotland that she left, and they want to lose every single week. Just shaking, and she's worried about this Sunday. Alexa, being the voice of reason, says she will defeat Bayley, and Nikki says the only horror show will be if she doesn't defeat Bayley on Sunday. Then we hear laughter from the background. It's Sasha and Bayley, like, hey, you're gonna lose. So Nikki's pissed, rushes at them, and attacks Bayley. Sasha fights her off as Bayley screams to Alexa to put a freaking leash on her. Down boy! Down boy! So we get that heading into their match on Sunday, which I think Bayley's going to win. She's going to use some chicanery, like always. I think Sasha might go out. Or maybe Alexa turns heel. I don't know. I would love to see that. Because Alexa as a face is kind of boring. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. So I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's that. All right, then we get the replay of AJ and Matt Riddle's promos from the start of the show. If you missed it, you got to see it. Get that. Then we get to the main event for the Intercontinental title. Matt Riddle taking on AJ Styles. And I thought this match was going to be good. It was good, but not great. Not like their first encounter, but still a pretty decent match for what it was. Starts with AJ missing a right. They lock up. Riddle gets AJ in the corner. The referee has to break them up and pull them apart. They go back to the center, so clean break. Go behind, waist lock by Matt. AJ then a right hand face. It goes to whip Matt Riddle to the ropes. It gets stopped. Riddle ducks under, locks the hips, and has a gut wrench suplex on AJ. Then another suplex sends AJ to the outside. Matt Riddle hops the apron. Riddle goes to the top. He needs AJ off the apron. AJ's pissed. He pounds on the table, and out comes Riddle to mock him and do the same. And then AJ takes the announce table apart, or the table apart, the tabletop apart. Runs to Riddle, kicks him on the side of the head as we go to break. Come back, Riddle has him from behind, takes AJ down, knees him, and hits a couple elbows. Then a knee to AJ. AJ rolls over to the ropes. Riddle wants an armbar, but has to back up because he's in the ropes. So Riddle's he's in a fighting stance. He's ready for AJ. He locks open the corner, attacks the sides. Fisherman's suplex for a near fall. AJ hits a very sick drop, sending Riddle's face into the mat. Ow. Then some kicks in the corner, some stomps. Riddle comes back with a huge chop to the chest. And then more rights, some high kicks. AJ grabs one of the kicks, drags Scoot to the leg of Matt Riddle. AJ kicks the leg over and over again, sending Riddle to the outside to regroup. He enters the ring. AJ kicks at the leg again, then grabs the leg and drops a knee on it. Pulls back on the foot to put pressure on the knee and the shin. And then he gets another knee to the left leg. And then AJ gets up, grabs the leg, they hook up, hits a right hand and another right. And then a sleeper from behind, 1920s style sleeper. Then AJ hits a cravat. Riddle turns into the move. AJ jabs him, gets the fireman's carry. Riddle lands on his feet. And then he kicks to the face of the corner, right hand in the corner, and Riddle hits the ropes. Misses the kick, goes for a moonsault, lands on his feet, hits the Broton, and then a running kick to the chest connects. Then he hits the Bro to sleep, or the GTS, whatever you want to call it. Then he hits a powerbomb. He flips AJ up, hits that bionic knee, or the knee trigger, pins him for a near fall as we go to our last break. We come back, Riddle is being pinned by AJ for a near fall. AJ goes to the apron, looking for the phenomenal form. He springboards, Riddle is up. He knocks him up for the Bro Derek, but it looks like something stopped him. I don't know what stopped him. He just dropped AJ like a sack of potatoes. Hits another Broton. I think he kind of botched on the Bro Derek attempt. He probably couldn't lift him or anything. Drops AJ like a sack of potatoes. Hits another Broton. Riddle some right hands and some chest thrust. A right hand misses, and then he missed the kick. AJ fires back with some strikes. AJ goes for the phenomenal form again. Riddle counters. AJ tries for the calf crusher. Riddle reversed it, and then AJ stacked him up with a roll up for the 1-2-3. So AJ picks up the victory and retains the Intercontinental title. I didn't like Matt Riddle losing clean. You know, after beating AJ 2 weeks ago, I was thinking maybe Matt Riddle will win clean and win the belt clean, or maybe win by disqualification. So then that rematch at SummerSlam would make sense. But the ending made no sense for Matt Riddle to lose clean to AJ and AJ retaining the belt. But still, it is what it is, and you got to learn to love it and learn to live with it, like Ric Flair said. So AJ gets the win. Match I gave 3 out of 5 stars. It was all right, not great, but pretty good. So AJ gets the win. Afterwards, AJ and Matt Riddle stare each other down. They hesitate. AJ extends his hand. Riddle shakes it so they have a code of honor, which is nice. Then out of there, Baron Corbin attacks from behind, knocking Riddle on his ass. AJ's holding his title like nothing happened. He leaves the ring. It's like, I'm not going to get involved with this. And then Corbin starts beating the crap out of Matt Riddle, mounting him with some right hands over and over and over again. They're just beating him down with right hands, and that's it. Just lays him out with right hands. And that ends. And then he leaves the ring and goes up the ramp. And that ends Smackdown. And then we find out later on the Facebook page that Matt Riddle will be taking on Baron Corbin one-on-one at Extreme Rules. And I think we all know who's going to win. It's going to be Matt Riddle beating Corbin, because it's just a transitional feud to get to the third match, AJ Riddle 3 at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title. AJ doesn't want it, and he's going to lose the belt. And that's what's going to happen. So Matt Riddle will become the Intercontinental champion at SummerSlam. and then AJ will probably go maybe into the Universal title picture, maybe facing Bray Wyatt or the Fiend, or do something. I don't know what AJ's going to do after he loses the belt. Maybe go after it, get a rematch with, and that'll be a fourth match with Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle will win that match, obviously, and then AJ will go in a different direction. We'll see what happens with that. But it looks like, Extreme Rules is all set. Not a pretty stacked card, but it is what it is. It's just there. I think they taped most of the matches today, or they're gonna. I doubt it's gonna be live because they don't have anything live anymore, especially Monday Night Raw anymore, and SmackDown. They're all taped now. NXT's taped, as far as I know. NXT's taped, so nothing live for a long time. AEW is taped, I believe, or they do it live. I think. I'm not sure. Who knows? But AEW is better. That's why they won the ratings this week: 788,000 to 631,000 for NXT. Just completely abused them. So AEW is back in the win column. Yes. Thanks to the demo god himself, Chris Jericho. That's that. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night. Extreme Rules should be a pretty decent pay-per-view. I'll do my predictions a little bit later, like I said. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. So SmackDown was a not that great a show. So I give it right down the middle of that, like Bill Alfonso says. 5 out of 10 stars for SmackDown. So let me know what you guys thought of the show in a comment or a video reply down below, or leave your comments down below about the show, what you thought of it, what you think is going to happen at Extreme Rules, or you can save your comments and your predictions for Extreme Rules for TGC 172 later on tonight. And let me know what your predictions are, and then we'll get to that. And that's all I got to say about that. So thank you for watching this video. I'm going to take a break for a little bit, give the missus the computer, and I'll be back probably around 10, 11 o'clock, maybe close to 12. Who knows? We'll see what happens on TGC Reborn. Link to the channels down below so you can subscribe and get notified when I go live. So when I go live, you'll know when I go live. And subscribe to this channel and all my other channels as well, which are down below in the description box. And as always, you can friend me on Facebook. Just type in Peter Gilmore, find me somewhere on Facebook. And if you're on Twitter, hit the Twitter link down below, and you can send me a DM, send me a tweet, send me a notification, whatever you want, and follow me on Twitter. I usually don't tweet a lot, but I'm on Twitter, so you can follow me on Twitter. And like I said, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button to death, smash that bell, get notified when I go live. And that's pretty much all I got to say about that. So, once again, 5 out of 10 stars for SmackDown. And we'll see what happens tomorrow night at the horror show at Extreme Rules. And I'll do my review tomorrow night after the pay-per-view ends. We'll talk about the pay-per-view and all the matches and all that other good stuff. Get you ready for Monday Night Raw this coming Monday night. It's going to be the Big Show taking on Randy Orton and his Mountainous Voice in an unsanctioned match. Should be interesting to see what's going to happen with that. I think Randy Orton's gonna kill the legend of the Big Show. So bye Big Show. And then Randy Orton's probably gonna go into maybe a match with Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam. A lot of people thinking that might happen. I hope it does. I'd like to see Randy Orton get his 14th world title reign, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But we'll see what happens with that. And then we'll see the fallout from Extreme Rules on Monday Night Raw. We'll see if Asuka retains the belt over Sasha Banks. We'll see if Drew retains over Dolph Ziggler. We'll see what Dolph's stipulation is going to be. I really don't care what it's going to be. I think it's probably just going to be. I think it might be like Falls Count Anywhere or a street fight. But I don't think it's going to be anything really hardcore. To be honest with you, I really don't think so. It's really, I haven't seen anything on the Facebook page or on the WWE YouTube page talk about Dolph Ziggler and his stipulation. It's gonna be. I think he's gonna announce it right then and there. So that's what I think is gonna happen. Dolph's probably gonna pick some stupid stipulation. It's not gonna be even that hardcore. If anything, it's probably gonna be either a false count anywhere match, a street fight. It's not gonna be a cage. Let's be real. It's not gonna be a cage. Not gonna be Hell in a Cell. Not gonna be First Blood or anything like that, because there's no blood in wrestling anymore. Except if you go to TNA or if you go to AEW. Cody's the most the only one that bleeds right now. So we got that. So and that's the only blood you see is very in AEW from time to time. Not all the time, but that's that. No CCW, no the NWA is. I don't know what's happening with the NWA. Billy Corgan said that the NWA is not closing down. So we'll see what happens with that. Ring of Honor waiting to come back. I can't wait for them to come back. The Pure title is going to come back when Ring of Honor is back up and operational. New Japan has got a couple of events coming up this week. I forgot the names of them. I think it's called Senguki Road, something like that. Let's see Evil, the newest member of the Bullet Club, the new Triple Crown champion. He has the Never Openweight belt, the IWGP Heavyweight title, and the IWGP Intercontinental title all at the same time. First ever triple champion in New Japan history and wrestling history, I believe. I could be wrong on that. So, New Japan's doing some good things. We'll see what happens with the Bullet Club and Evil and the group. See what happens with the Switchblade, Jay White. See if there's going to be any interaction with Evil and Jay White, since they're both in the same group now. And I think Jay White's going to leave the Bullet Club and turn face, and he's going to go after Evil. Probably win the belts. Not all three belts. I think he's going to win the IWGP Heavyweight title and the Intercontinental title for a second time each. So he held the World title, then he held the Intercontinental title, and he held the U.S. title. So he's going to be a Grand Slam champ. And we'll see what happens with that. And we move on from there. Oh yeah, Julius the Jew come in. He says, "What's up?" Nothing much. Ending up shop here. So thank you for coming in. Julius, if you're still watching, later on I'm gonna be doing my predictions video for Extreme Rules on the TGC Reborn channel. So later on tonight, go to the TGC Reborn channel, and we'll have a talk. We'll talk about Extreme Rules, give our predictions, and all the other good stuff, and that's that. So that's it. Thank you all for watching, everybody. I'm going to edit this up, and I'm going to get off the computer, and I'm going to rest up a little bit, and that's pretty much all I can say about that. So thank you for watching 5 out of 10 stars for Smackdown. It was what it was, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see what happens tomorrow night at the horror show at Extreme Rules. Should be a fun pay-per-view, man. It's going to be horrible. The horror show is going to be horrible. And that's all I got to say about that. So, thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening and Saturday night. I'll be back later on TGC 172. So, subscribe to TGC Reborn down below and hit the bell to get notified when I go live. And like I said, I'll be live later on tonight with my predictions video for Extreme Rules. And we'll talk later on. And that's all I got to say about that. So, as Julius the Jew says, peace out, rock on. If you're not down with that, well, I got 3 words for you. Fuck you, man. And that's all I got to say about that. So, thank you for watching. I'll be back later. See you guys later. I'm out. Peace, bitches.